have this lawsuit today coming out. It's national news. Did you watch when you watched it on the news last night? Did you know that was Indiana?
No.
Yeah, you watched it. I remember you were telling me, "Oh my gosh, look at this," and I think I was reading the sports section, so I didn't look up.
Well, I think what it was they had the highlights, and then I wound up going to bed before the news came on. But I did see they showed a profile of a young man who's high school who had been beat up.
David Haddad out of Lake Central High School, and it turns out that was the number one story on one of the newscasts, and it has made the national wire here. And it is a story of Kenneth Allen getting together with the parents of David Haddad and filing a civil rights case against Lake Central, Larry Verracco, Robert McDermott, Sean Begley, and they're saying that they didn't do anything about what was essentially racially or religious-based persecution of the kid, and he was beat up because of his Middle Eastern descent.
Well, I think that time and time again, I have seen that schools across Northwest Indiana or even across the state, the nation, just do not seem to do enough when it comes to addressing bullying. I think that a lot of times the school feels that their responsibility toward handling bullying is just basically holding like a seminar 101 on bullying. This is what you should not do. This is what we won't tolerate. They don't tolerate, well, for instance, I can only speak about right now, let's say, for instance, Munster High School, they have a no tolerance as far as anybody fighting. So what happens is not only does the aggressor get suspended, so does the victim at times. And I think that, if anything, let's hope that, I don't know how the cards are going to fall, or whether there's going to be a settlement or a judgment or where we're going to go with this. But I hope that, if anything, it brings light to the fact that as a community and as a school corporation throughout the Northwest Indiana, we need to do more to keep our children safe in school and to let bullies know that we won't tolerate this type of behavior.
Now, let's just further complicate this situation. We walk in here, and Gabby Hernandez, 17-year-old senior at Highland High School, she's listening, and she's like, wow. She goes, that's not how I heard how it went down at all. Okay? She's like, oh, and she's telling us other details that, of course, are secondhand and rumor and so forth. And so I guess it also lends to the fact that, if you read the Chicago Tribune article, they've already convicted the guy. You know what I mean?
Well, are they only telling one side of the story? Are they only telling the victim's story? Have they talked to anyone else besides the parents and perhaps Attorney Kenneth Allen? Have they spoken to the individuals who are A, being sued, or B, may have witnessed the incident? I don't know. So what is the Tribune saying?
They're basically kind of a little bit sensationalizing it and kind of a fairly one-sided article on it. And I think the Times actually did a more objective view of this thing. But, we also have to realize that there's two sides to everything that goes down. And, you got to believe that Larry Verracco, who was here sitting in your seat last week, the superintendent now out at Lake Central and used to be the principal there, and Robert McDermott, who's now the principal, that they got a pretty solid defense of what their actions were. So I know that we want to jump to conclusions and say, oh my gosh, I can't believe Lake Central's doing this, or how are Muslims being treated in the area, and that we can't have racism and that kind of thing. So we got to kind of let it play out, and we can't convict Larry Verracco and Robert McDermott in the public eye. We just can't do that. It's wrong.
Right. I agree. Let's see where this goes, and obviously there's two sides to every story.